Hi everybody, welcome to Fluttercrafts. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'd like to share with you a project that I made. It was inspired of somebody that I watched on YouTube, and we will be making a tulip bookmark. So it's a fairly simple technique, just looking at a tulip and painting 3 petals, 2, and then we'll come over and do a layered petal in the middle. So these are ones that I have done previously, different colors. You can choose to do lots of different colors if you want to. I've stuck with one color for each of the bookmarks, but it's completely up to you. And once we finish painting, then we'll go back in with a watercolor marker and just add in some simple lines for the stems. So let's get started. So I'll put those aside. I have cut up some cards already for the bookmarks, and the size that I've cut them to is 6 inches by just under 2 inches. I found these really great bookmark holders on Amazon. They're for photo booth photos, but they work really great, and they have this great hole at the top so that you can put in a coordinating ribbon. So to fit in those, it's a 6 by just under 2 inches. So we're going to work on 2 today, and I've already mixed up my paint palette, and for this particular piece I am going to be using a Princeton number 6 round paintbrush, because that'll give us a really nice shape for each of the petals. So let's get started. I'm going to wet my paintbrush, and we'll start with the red one, and we will just work our way down. So we're just going to do a simple brush stroke, almost like we're drawing, painting a leaf. So just a couple of simple strokes, and we want to change the direction of the tulips as we work our way down the bookmark. So you can add color, you can make it transparent or opaque. It's completely up to you, because each one is unique, just like in nature, each flower is unique, and we just want to randomize these going down the page. So when you're painting them, remember to try and leave that V in the middle, because we're going to come in afterwards and paint the third leaf, or sorry, petal in the middle, so that then we get the true shape of a tulip. So you can come down as far or as down to the bottom as you like, and you can always go back in and add a little bit more color if you decide that you'd like to add a little bit more color, or you can go back in later and you can add in some more tulips. So that's the red one that I've done. I have a couple that I painted earlier that have now dried, so I'm just going to push that aside. I have a red and a yellow that I painted earlier that are ready now. The yellow is still a little bit damp, but the red one is definitely ready to go painting in that middle petal. So let's go ahead and do that so that I can show you what it looks like when we paint in that middle one. So we're just going to get the red again, and we're going to come back in, and we sort of want to do it in the middle. So we're just going to go down like that, and that's going to create that middle petal and making it look more like a tulip. So once that's dried, we will get that layered effect. So we're just going to continue coming down and just fixing up the shape if you need to as you work down. Some are going to be a little bit thicker than others, and that is completely fine. Some are more open than others, because they're all in different stages of their blooms. So we're just going to come around and put all of those middle ones in. And it's basically just doing exactly the same shape, but just in the middle of your tulip. So there we go. So that one's done now. And then we can come back and we can do, I've got the yellow one here that I had done previously, and we'll just put the middle in the yellow. So the top one of the yellow is still a little bit damp, so I'm going to leave that one and not do that one just yet. That one had quite a lot of water on it, so it's taking a little bit longer to dry. So we're just going to come back in with the yellow, exactly the same technique, just coming in, and so that we can get more of that layered effect. And you can add in a different shade too, so I just put a little bit more orange with that to make it look a little bit darker. And we're just working our way right down to the bottom. And you can just sort of change the shape too of your flower as you work your way down. Remember, just go with it. Watercolors will bleed into one another, and that's fine. That's just what watercolors do. Okay, that one there looks like it's a little bit more closed than the others. We can just, I think, can probably just get a little bit of a petal up there because that's not quite dry. Okay, so there we go. That's 2 of them done. And then we can go back in and we will add in the stems. So for the stems, I have just used a green watercolor marker, and this one is a Staedtler watercolor, and it has the 2 ends. So it has the paintbrush end on one end, and then it has a fine point on the other. For these, I just use the fine point, and it's completely up to you as to the look that you'd like. But if you want to do it so that it bleeds a little bit, if the middle petal is still a little bit damp, that will work really well, because you'll be able to put a dot just in the middle, and then that will actually bleed a little bit into the thing. So before you start drawing your stems in, you want to actually work out where your stems are going to go. So traditionally tulips have got a very straight stem, so we're just going to dot it there and then just draw down where my stem is going to be. So I'm just going to work my way down and do it all the way down the page as to where the stems of my tulips will be. Some of them will overlap, some of them will be one way, some of them will be another way. It just depends as to the orientation of when you painted them. So that's why it's important to look at changing the direction of the tulips when you're painting them onto the bookmark. There we go, and that is that one done. And we can come back in. I see that I just smudged that top one, so when that's dry I can go back in and repaint the top petal up there, so that's not a problem. Once it's dry, you can then if you want to, you can personalize it and write a name on the side, or you can flip it over and you can write a personal message on the back. Then you can just slot it into one of the sleeves and add a coordinating ribbon, and you're all set, ready to go. Pair it with your favorite book or your friend's favorite book, and it makes an excellent gift. So I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to sharing another craft idea with you soon.